The US has reached a plea deal with the alleged mastermind behind the September the 11th attacks, along with two other defendants. NBC News chief foreign affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell has the latest.
Today, the self-confessed mastermind of the 9/11 attacks and two accomplices are expected to enter a plea deal with the U.S. military. According to officials, the three defendants are set to plead guilty to some unspecified charges as early as next week at Guantanamo Bay. The New York Times, citing a letter from prosecutors to 9/11 families, not independently verified by NBC News, reports the men have agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy and murder charges in exchange for a life sentence, avoiding a death penalty trial at Guantanamo, where they were first charged by the military in 2008. Once the number 3 man in al-Qaeda, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, known as KSM, was captured by U.S. forces in Pakistan in 2003. 4 years later, he testified he was responsible for the 9/11 operation from A to Z, as well as the first attack on the World Trade Center in 1993. According to a 2014 Senate Intelligence Committee report, the CIA waterboarded Mohammed 183 times, a now outlawed technique widely considered torture. Also entering the plea agreement, KSM's accomplice, Mustafa Ahmed al-Hazawi. The FBI says he was the main money man, sending credit cards and tens of thousands of dollars to the hijackers. The third defendant, Walid bin Attash, was a former bodyguard for Osama bin Laden and is suspected by the FBI of planning the attack on the USS Cole in 2000 that killed 17 American sailors. Ashley Bisman was just 16 when she lost her father, Jeff Goldflam, on 9/11. She says the expected plea deal does not seem like justice.
The saying with 9/11 is never forget. And unfortunately, the victims were forgotten today.
Yeah, the pain still lingers. NBC's Andrea Mitchell with that report. And joining us now is Republican Congressman Mike Lawler of New York. Congressman, I know there are many 9/11 families in your district, and you've been calling for this to go to trial for the past year. What do you make of this plea agreement then?
Well, obviously, it's a very frustrating day for a lot of 9/11 families. You know, I was in my 5th day of freshman year of high school on September 11th, 2001, just 35 miles north from Ground Zero. And so many families were impacted by that fateful day. And to today, we still have first responders dying from 9/11 health-related illnesses. And so I've spoken with many families. I've spoken with our first responders. And they're angry, and they feel betrayed and heartbroken. And it doesn't seem like justice. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and the other folks who obviously have entered into this plea deal really should have been subject to the death penalty. And I think most Americans, most New Yorkers would agree with that. And so that's where the frustration lies. I called on the Biden administration not to enter into a plea deal a year ago. We wanted to see this go to trial, and unfortunately, this is where we are today.
Congressman, how do you feel about the death penalty on a personal basis?
Look, obviously, we don't want to ever see innocent life taken. But generally, when you're talking about the death penalty, you're talking about people who have engaged in the most horrific offenses, who have taken innocent lives. And so, personally, I do support the death penalty in these types of cases. And I've long believed when you have a situation like this, a terrorist attack, that resulted in the deaths of 2,977 Americans, and so many New Yorkers still continuing to die from 9/11 health-related illness. There's consequence for that.
Do you have any sense of, in terms of the plea deal that he got, that there might have been a level of cooperation from him to American intelligence services that would perhaps have given up a few more people?
Look, certainly that would be the hope. I don't have any clear indication of that at the moment, but I think if they are going to enter into this plea deal, that there would be full and continuing cooperation. But Khalid Sheikh Mohammed has obviously been off the field, if you will, for almost 2 decades, and so for over 2 decades, in fact, actually. So from that standpoint, you know, I'm not sure what else he would necessarily add, but I certainly believe that there should have been a severe consequence, and in this instance, the death penalty.
So let's bring into this conversation State Attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, Dave Aronberg. Dave, good morning. You're obviously a prosecutor. Take us behind the scenes here. What goes into the thinking behind cutting a deal like this?
Yeah, good to be with you, Jonathan, and with the congressman. You know, one of the hardest decisions for prosecutors is to cut a deal with the devil. Sometimes, though, it's necessary to secure justice. That's what's happening here, to achieve closure for victims and their families. You know, these decisions are easier when victims' families are all on one side on a plea deal, supporting one course of action over the other. Here, the victim families have differing opinions on the plea deal, and that complicates things and has been a reason for the extended delay in resolving these cases. Make no mistake, Osama bin Laden deserved the death penalty, and he got it, and Khalid Sheikh Mohammed deserves the death penalty. And he's going to be spared the death penalty because of the Bush-era decision to use torture to elicit confessions. So those who support the use of torture to this day during wartime need to confront the reality that KSM and his cohorts were able to avoid the death penalty because of it. And the federal government in this case face the real possibility of having their confessions tossed out because these individuals were subject to waterboarding, subject to secret CIA prisons that may have contaminated the evidence against them. So if you want to blame an administration for imperfect justice here, do so, but don't blame the Biden administration because their hand was forced because of the policies of the George W. Bush administration.
Dave, it's a good point. And just to follow up on a more personal level, in a moment like this, how does someone in your position speak to the families, particularly when there is such a divide as to what they want to see happen?
Oh, it's one of the toughest jobs as a prosecutor. You have victim witness coordinators who help you through it. They've lost everything. But you also have to make them understand the realities of our system. You know, this is imperfect justice, but justice is often imperfect. It is often slow and rough around the edges. Keep this in mind, though. These terrorists were defiant and unrepentant from the beginning until now. And now they're pleading for their lives and admitting guilt. So their swagger is gone, which is a victory in itself. And that's something I would impress upon the victims. You know, in a perfect world, you'd have a quick trial and the confessions would be admitted into evidence. But in our real world, you didn't even have a trial date set here after 21 years. The pretrial motions have bogged down the wheels of justice here in heavy mud. And once you finally get a trial date, you still got a 12 to 18-month trial ahead, and justice delayed is justice denied. One more thing, Jonathan. I do recognize, though, the anger of the victim families who see capital punishment imposed in this country against people who murder one person, but not against these terrorists who murdered nearly 3,000 innocents. But keep in mind, we're still dealing with the fallout from Camp X-Ray and waterboarding, which for years has been used against us as anti-American propaganda to recruit jihadists around the world. And you can see the repercussions of those policies here today.
State Attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, Dave Aronberg. Dave, thank you for joining us. And Congressman, last word to you.
Look, I certainly appreciate and understand Dave's perspective, but I think for most folks, after 23 years, as we approach, this 23rd anniversary coming up in just a little over a month, this doesn't feel like justice. And I think Khalid Sheikh Mohammed certainly deserved the death penalty, and I think that's where most Americans will fall on this.
Republican Congressman Mike Lawler of New York, thank you for joining us.